All right. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Big waves to you. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. How many of you feel like you're running all over the place? Yes, yes, yes. So the word for today, don't spill your moa, Eva Marie. Spill your moa. The word for today is plug in. Plug in. And if you look at the definition of plug in, it's connect to a power supply. Connect to a power supply. You know, this community is a plug-in community. It's closely connected, in touch with what's going on, informed, involved. All of those words are centered around plug-in if you look in the dictionary. But what does it mean to be plugged in? You know, let's just say in your profession. You know, I think about Alan White that owns his own concrete company. Like, odds are he needs to be plugged in with what's going on. Things have changed probably over the last 20, 30 years. You know, I would say there's probably equipment he's had to learn to use. There's probably equipment he's had to go take classes on and plug in on so he can keep up with the times. So we could go across all of our occupation, all of our professions, and that would be the case. But I want to ask you this. Have you ever been unplugged? Have you ever been unplugged? Like, and you step into a sort, like, here's what I'm trying to say. Have you ever been unplugged? Maybe you've been gone for a week, 2 weeks. Maybe you got discouraged and you went off, and then you come back and you almost feel like an outsider. The way I look at it, it's kind of like the gym. Have you ever been to a gym and you go, you start to make friends, you're communicating with them, and then you take off for like 6 months, and then you show back up and you're like, you feel like people's looking at you weird, you know? Let me encourage you to do something. And I'm talking to myself on this. People are not looking at you weird. Just come back, plug in, get back involved, be a part of the community. You know, I think about the Coach's Corner. We have people unplug all the time. We always welcome you back. We always welcome you back. We're like, it's like church, you know, so somebody shouldn't ever not welcome you back. Like, come on back, plug back in. Because you think about it, when you're plugged in to connections, to people, to energy, you know, the world's a negative place. So staying close to positive sources is going to help you. I've had so many comments on Orlando, and one of the biggest, it's not, oh my goodness, the training, you know, the stuff, it's the positivity. That's the number one thing I hear is, man, I got around so many positive, life-giving people that hugged on me, that loved on me, that encouraged me. And that was the takeaway. World's a negative place. That in itself is the reason you plug in. We plug in. We all plug in. So, and another reason, if you're looking at it from a business standpoint, businesses are constantly changing. Every day, things change. Now, maybe the concept stays the same, but things change. Technology changes. Videos change. So if you're plugged in, guess what you're doing? You're staying up to date. Just like Alan White would, if he plugs in to different machinery that is used, right? It's not the same machines that was used 30 years ago. And so I'm going to turn this to Andrea, but I encourage all of us, because we're living this busy life, whether it's your health, whether it's your finances, whether it's your profession, like, find a power source to plug into. And if you ever detach, just get back on the saddle, get back involved, start serving, start participating, start being around people, and watch your energy change. You know, watch the level of your enthusiasm change. Does that make sense? I hope it does. It does to me, because plug in is something that a lot of times I have to hit the reset button and just simply go back and plug in. Just plug in. I got to get out of my own headspace, because everybody's got their mess in life. They're not thinking about Brent Palmer 24 hours a day. So I got to get out of my own head and realize that everybody's got their own stuff going on. And if I just jump back on the saddle, jump back in the game, jump back into the community, just like you jump back into the gym, everybody would welcome me. And within a week, I'd be a part of the gang. I'd be a part of the crew. So hope this helps you. And I hope it reminds you, you and me, when we unplug, to just simply reset, plug back in, plug back into the power supply. So Andrea, I'll turn it to you.
Well, great job, Coach. And I love it. I love that we get to be so plugged in to this community. That's what Francis said. He's like, this ties in so well with community. And I agree. So what I looked into was how to plug in and what do we need to plug into, right? What should we be tapping into? So I said, first of all, our ultimate power source. And I don't know what that means to you, but I'm going to say that we can't be a light in this world if we're not plugged into the source. So for me, that's Jesus. So what are you doing to plug into your ultimate power source? And that could be, whatever your beliefs are. I'm not pushing mine on you, but for me, it looks like, the Bible app on my phone that I get to, just shows me one little verse every single day. And it just helps me feel more connected. Nighttime study, praying, listening to worship music when I clean my house. Like that is like the best way to clean the house. You get so much more done, I feel like. And finding a church community that you can plug into and help you feel connected. At work, just like Coach said, what can we plug into in order to be more successful in our work? So show up and keep showing up. We have this Zoom. Now, this isn't really work related, and that's, I think, probably my favorite part of this, because we're just plugging in to positive people. But then we also have the 9:15 IPA Zoom. If you guys are part of our community, that we can plug in and we can learn and we can figure out what we need to do in order to be more successful. The Wednesday night wisdom call, the Monday night calls with corporate, all of that is going to help us all be more successful. So be on the calls and participate. Go to the events like we had this weekend. Comment in those groups. And I don't care what group you're in. Like maybe you're in maybe you're like me and you're in a Golden Doodles lover group, right? Like everybody that loves their puppy, and you're in that group, go plug into it. Comment, love on everybody else's puppy pictures and put yours in there. Doesn't matter. But find a place that you go and comment, listen, and offer feedback. And I'll tell you, if you're on a Zoom, turn your camera on. So we're not talking to ourselves. Like, that's what I love the most about this Zoom. It is early. Like, I'm looking at myself and I'm like, I am poofy. I am travel worn. Like, I can see it. But you know what? My camera's on. And I love that so many of you turn your camera on and share that energy back, because it's a way that we're both connected. It's not just, Coach and I talking at a camera. It's we are communicating and talking with you both, or with all of you. It's so much fun. And then how do we plug into others? Focus on connecting. So unplug from the outside distractions. I'll tell you, one of the people that I think is really phenomenal with this, if you guys have ever seen Coach sit down with somebody during like a lunch where he's trying to connect with somebody, he is phenomenal at unplugging from his phone. It's not even anywhere around. He is completely connected with that prospect or that person to make sure that they feel that connection. And I can be really bad at that. I'm an Apple Watch person, and you and I might be sitting there and I'm trying to focus on you, but I'm like, and it's so rude. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to focus on connecting with the people that I'm around with. Focus on those humans and set aside eyeball time. This is one thing that I've done with my kids forever. And it's almost embarrassing to admit because it's such a small chunk of time. But I'm going to tell you, those chunks are so powerful. Literally in my planner, I have 15 minutes eyeball with Kay, 15 minutes eyeball with Chase, where I don't care what we're doing. but I just make sure that my eyeballs are focused on them. So we might just be having a conversation or eating breakfast or, doing the laundry together, but I make sure that I'm absolutely focused on them and I'm actively listening. And then the last thing, well, no, I'm sorry, there's two more. The next thing that we really need to plug into is ourselves. So how in tune are you with you? What are your values? What's driving you to keep getting up in the morning and doing a couple more calls or doing a little bit more work or whatever? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Right? Because if we know those things, we know who to partner up with to help balance us out. Because the more we know about ourselves, the happier and more successful we're going to be in life. And the last thing I promise that we all need to plug into is gratitude. Are we plugging into gratitude every single day? I love my Canadian gratitude journal because it helps me focus on what's important. If you don't have one, well, you can do it on your phone. You can do it in your brain. You can do it anywhere. But just if you take that time when you first wake up in the morning, and what am I grateful for this morning? And it can be big things. It can be little things. And when you're going to bed at night, if you plug into what am I grateful about that I got to experience today? And again, it could be that you're just slipping between those sheets that are smooth. Like you guys know, like when you get into a bed where those sheets are just so nice and tight on the bed, is that not just the most wonderful feeling? And so that might be the only thing that you're grateful for in that moment. But if you focus on that, we're going to find more things to be grateful for. So plugging into our gratitude is going to help us be just happier humans overall. So that's what I had on this beautiful Tuesday morning. But I love you guys, and I'm so grateful that I got to plug into this community.
Great word, Andrea. Thank you for that. Guys, we love you. We appreciate you. Hope you have an amazing Tuesday. We'll see you back tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.